Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a little video, a 1 month update on my no fast food and like no kind of ultra processed snacky foods journey. So this year I kind of wanted to do a little experiment and see how taking out or removing ultra processed snacks, because I was a big hot Cheeto eater, and fast food. Like I would eat fast food very regularly, probably like, 3-4 times a week, like the average American. So I wanted to experiment and see how removing that from my diet would like affect me. It's mostly affect my mental health and things, and then just my fitness and my health journey and all that. So that's basically the backstory. I won't make this too long just because, yeah, it's just not necessary. But I wanted to document this because I find it fascinating. So I really wasn't gonna make a video. I think I was just gonna do, like a review of like the whole year or maybe 6 months or whatever. But I noticed some very interesting changes within the past month. So the last time that I ate fast food was on January 3rd. And I remember that because I was driving back from time at Christmas with family on January 3rd. And we stopped and we had McDonald's that day. That kind of was the start of my journey, January 3rd. So it's February 6th right now, just about 1 month, like 33 days, something like that. So pretty much immediately I started noticing, I would say maybe within a week or so, like a slow kind of decline in appetite, if that makes any sense. And actually the more accurate word in the situation would be, I saw a slow decline in cravings. The first week, second week kind of rolled around. And before I had very intense cravings quite often. Looking back on this month, I only had one craving, and I remember it vividly. It was kind of like in my PMS time, and I had a really strong craving. We live near Yard House, so they have like a really good mac and cheese there, burger. Like I had a craving for that. And so I got that. I got the mac and cheese. My husband and I split a burger like we usually do, and it was great. And then it didn't continue on, and it didn't linger, which was very odd and very different for me. You know what I mean? And then this past week, like right around that 1 month mark, I have really been noticing a decrease in my appetite. So in the beginning, it was a decrease in cravings. And then now in general, like I have a very noticeable decrease in my appetite, which is really interesting. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what to think about it. I've heard many times that indulging frequently, and which I was very frequently, and ultra processed foods and fast foods really can affect your appetite and your perception of hunger and cravings and things like that. And I 100% noticed a decrease, kind of in very, very intense cravings and very intense hunger, to the point where like you can't make a rational choice about what you eat. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. And the other thing I noticed, because, we live in a society where like there's constant temptation, there's McDonald's on every corner, there's Burger King, whatever. And then I also have this kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like desire to make healthier choices, but then also like you're dealing with the temptation. And so like there's always this kind of like tug of war that I was experiencing mentally about whether to eat something or whether to not. And so what I'm trying to say is, it's psychologically, I have told myself that this is not something that I'm going to have this year, like meaning fast food and the chips mostly, but processed snacks. So I don't have that mental tug of war in my head of like whether to eat, whether to not, whether to eat, whether to not, and I'm like not going back and forth. And so psychologically, I feel like I have a little bit more mental space and mental clarity, if that makes any sense. I don't think this is scientifically proven, but anecdotally, I think that, spending all of that mental energy kind of going back and forth with yourself definitely decreases just your ability to make decisions. At least that's what I experienced anyway. So the lack of that mental back and forth has allowed me to, just have more mental space to make choices in a way that aligned with kind of my values and things. And then finally, what I've noticed, and it's so interesting how things affect each other. Like one thing affects another, affects another, affects another. Because this choice, I indulged mostly in chips as like, it's a comfort like that I would do regularly. And there's nothing wrong with doing it occasionally, but it was like a very regular habit for me. It was like a stress relief. It was a comfort. And so now, because that crutch is not there, I have pursued other things for stress relief. So yeah, I've just naturally kind of gravitated towards other things that relieve my stress because I don't have the comfort fast food and the chips to kind of fall back on. So I've been exercising more regularly. I'm more of a low impact exercise girl. So, walking, hula hooping. I've started lifting weights again, just Pilates, kind of like the things that I normally do, but I find myself, using it as a tool for my stress relief. So it's really interesting. So I would say the amount that I work out has increased just a little bit. And then I've been just naturally reading more, meditating more. I've been involving myself in more creative pursuits, I have a video coming out about it, so I'm not really gonna go into it now, but I've converted our extra closet into an office for myself. I've just been, I guess for lack of a better phrase, more productive. And that could be due to a number of things, but it's just something that I've noticed about how that habit has affected my life in different ways. So I'm definitely gonna keep tabs on all of this and see where I am at the 3-month mark, at the 6-month mark, 9-month, 1 year, whatever. Anyway, let me know if you have any experience kind of giving up something that you really relied on heavily as an emotional crutch and your experience with it. In my case, it was the food. I'm glad that I'm doing this little experiment with myself to kind of see what happens. And also, I will say I did eat fast food once this month because we were on the road to go to Atlanta, Georgia. And I think I just didn't pack appropriately, snacks or whatever. So I ended up having McDonald's once. But again, I probably would have had McDonald's 20 times in the last month. Or not McDonald's, but Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, or, a combination of different things. But again, it didn't evolve into a habit or anything like that. I had it once and then I kind of went about my normal diet. And I will say I do still eat processed foods. I eat some chicken nuggets that I get from Costco. I eat jarred soups from Trader Joe's. I'll eat little orange chicken bowls or whatever from Trader Joe's and things like that. I don't eat a Whole Foods, plant-based, perfect little diet. So I do eat processed foods, and I think most foods are processed, but I'm really speaking to the ultra processed fast food, that type of stuff. So anyway, I'll wrap this up. Let me know if you have any questions. And like I said, let me know your experience down below if you've gone on a journey similar to this. I find it fascinating. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.